Hi, my name is Saasha Gajjaer, and this is my project Taboos surrounding menstruation among schoolgirls in West India, a case study. Period stigma is an amalgamation of myths, taboos, and shame that contributes to a negative perception of menstruation. This stigma is still extremely prevalent in the Indian woman's life and manifests in various ways, such as a lack of scientifically accurate menstrual education and inadequate access to sanitary products. As a result, 1 out of 5 Indian girls drop out of school after she starts menstruating. A study found that only 36% of Indian women use sanitary pads and the others use hazardous materials. This is due to the stigmatization of purchasing menstrual hygiene products. This increases the risk of reproductive tract infections such as bacterial vaginosis and vulvovaginal candidiasis. We know that BV has been associated with an increased risk of HIV, HPV, and adverse pregnancy outcomes. These dire statistics led me to work with the Pinkish Foundation to conduct menstrual education classes in areas within Ahmedabad, India at local public schools. Here, I worked primarily with female students aged 11 to 14, where I conducted 7 sessions at 7 different schools for 2 hours. Alongside teaching, I organized a pad donation drive and donated 700 plus pads to all the girls. I examined the prevalence of myths and taboos among schoolgirls in West India by finding the agreement and herd rate of 6 myths and taboos using mixed method data survey to provide insight into the extent of period stigmatization. Here is a visual representation of the agree percent and the heard before percent. For example, 98% of the girls have heard that they should not be allowed to visit religious places while menstruating, and a majority agree. I found that a high number of girls have been subjected to these myths and taboos, but the agreement rate is low. Furthermore, myths and taboos have a very high agreement and heard rate. Lastly, taboos that support the social exclusion of menstruating women have a very high heard rate. A lot of girls said that eating hot foods, playing sports, touching religious items, and sitting next to boys were common taboos. A few comments I felt that were important to note were by Mahi and Malti. Mahi stated that covering the in home temple, called the Mandir, to hide the gaze of God from her illness was common, and Malti said that she was not allowed to touch books during her period. These findings indicate that the stigmatization of periods is still very prevalent and continues to hinder the girl's ability to study, to play sports, to engage in social activities, and to practice religion. A high herd rate show that these taboos are deeply ingrained into the cultural status quo. In order to assess if the stigmatization continues to be prevalent, I will perform a refined version of the survey accommodating low income and low literacy populations and compare the differences with existing results to see if there has been a change. Thank you for your time. You can donate using the websites listed here. I hope to see a better future for the bright and inquisitive girls I encountered.